right, you guys, we're going to talk about loneliness today, how to deal with loneliness, how to deal with an emotion of feeling alone and feeling lonely and needing another person. It's something that I'm being asked a lot, mainly because the key topics of my content on social media is alignment, but alignment in context of relationships, so karmic relationships, soulmates, twin flames as well. How to seek that alignment, how to find a way back to self through relationships, because ultimately that is why relationships exist for most part. And many women, specifically women, not that it's just a female problem, but women are more prone to actually actively still these days seek for help. So women that I work with, and they are on this journey of self-discovery, healing, returning back to self, understanding our divinity, understanding how important alignment is, how important it is to connect to your body, to your mind, to your soul, not to choose partners that are not your true soul connections. And women who want, ultimately, when they find that aligned higher soulmate and have that beautiful divine union with, as they are on this journey, they often ask me, well, how do you deal with loneliness? Because it sucks. And there's temptation, and there, sometimes, there's a need to be with another, to spend time with another, whether that's on a level of energy, on a level of connection of the mind, on a physical level. So I want to dive deeper into that topic today. And in order to do that, I want to explain to you that there are actually two super different things. That's a weird way to say it, but there are two different things behind what we label as this loneliness. I feel lonely. So it's important to really understand which one are you actually feeling, because they're completely different. Again, this is why I sometimes struggle with labels, and I always say to you guys, be careful, make sure that the person that you're having the conversation with or that you're listening online has the same understanding of the label that they're using, because it may be completely different things. So when we talk about loneliness, there's going to be this first thing that we mean. And that is the loneliness on a very deep level. A loneliness that makes you feel like, I'm all alone in this world. Nobody understands me. Nobody cares. I have to deal with everything on my own. It's a bit of a mixed in victim mentality with this sense of nobody knows the trouble I've seen. This feeling of like you're abandoned. And that comes from wounds, and that comes from the illusion of separation, because as consciousness, we are one supreme consciousness that separates itself from source to come here and experience this human life. So we feel, when we are mainly in a place of ego, so the mortal part of self, we feel lonely. Whereas when we connect more and more to the consciousness, to the soul part of self, we remember that we're everythingness, right? We connect to the wholeness, with everythingness, with the universe, with all people. So when you are feeling this loneliness, as in nobody understands, I'm all alone, I'm gonna die alone. Many people say this, right? Nobody cares, nobody really knows who I am, nobody really knows my story. That's sort of a deep feeling of, just being at home and just crying, that is just me, that I want to have somebody who will witness this life, who will walk this path with me, right? That kind of loneliness always comes from wounding, always comes from, again, falling more into that ego separation. So how do we fix that? We heal. How do we deal with that? We heal. We find our way back to self. And in the meantime, as you find your way back to self, if you ask me how not to fall into temptation, well, I often laugh when people ask me that question, because to me, it's the same question as if you ask me, what do you do if people frustrate you and annoy you and you want to punch them in the face? Well, you just don't. You develop self-control. You just decide that you don't want to be a person that punches people in their faces, right? You just decide that you don't want to be a person that has one-night stands, or a person that has friends with benefits, or a person that has random flings with people, women, men, that don't really want to commit to you, that don't want to see you, that they don't want to, invest their time and their energy in your relationship. You just decide that. It's a decision. Is it easy? No, but it's the same decision like not punching people in the face, like not eating crap all day long and taking care of your body so your body is actually nourished, right? It's a decision, just like with everything. It's self-control. It's activating that inner masculine, because it's our inner masculine that holds that most potent frequency of self-control, and then activating that inner feminine that holds the most potent frequency of self-love. And you will reach a moment, I promise you, I'm there, I got people there, I know people who are already there. You reach that moment when it's not even a temptation. You love yourself so deeply, you love your body, your existence, your mind, your soul, everything, your energy body, your physical body. You just love yourself so much. You understand your self-worth. You understand that you are an element of God on this earth, that you are divine, that you would never, under any circumstance, for a split second, even consider being with somebody, whether that's physical intimacy or dating someone that does not align on 100% with the frequency of your soul, which means that they are a true soul connection, and in the same time they are not ready to commit to you fully, to create divine union. You just wouldn't consider that. So if you're not there, how to deal with that? Work on your feminine, work on your masculine, self-control, self-love, and just decide, I don't want to do this anymore. I've posted something about decisions today on my Instagram. You can go ahead and read that. But it's exactly that. We think that it's a temptation of a mind, it's a temptation of a body to be with somebody. But you decide from a place of awareness and from a place of understanding. This is just a mind that is thinking about some. Mind is seeking for arousal. Body is seeking for satisfaction. How can I fix this in a divine way? How can I come back to self? Confirmation, a little dog knows. How can I come back to self to deal with that on a level of self? Because this is the problem of most people. They don't know how to self-soothe. And this is where healing and inner work comes in. People fix things externally, right? Their emotions, their sadnesses, their longings, their loneliness. Learn to manage that on a level of self-soothe. Okay, so that's how we deal with that first level of loneliness. Now, there's the second type of loneliness, again, labels. And this is a feeling that it never stays. It's not permanent. It sort of comes as a wave because it's an emotion. And even when you are already fully embodying that first state that I mentioned, so you're in your divinity, divine masculine, divine feminine, you know that you would never, under any circumstance, no matter what emotion and desire and loneliness, just mingle with someone that has no intention of having a relationship, or they're not ready, or don't have a potential to create a divine union, right? That's basically it. So you're already there, but every now and then it's just this wave of feeling that comes towards you that feels like, man, it would be good to have someone to travel with, or like, man, it would be good someone, I'm here cooking and have someone to share that meal with, right? And sometimes come like, oh man, it would be good to have someone to sex with, right? Because I mean, although I can address everything on a level of self, it's a whole different experience. And that's okay. So the first thing is to understand that it's absolutely okay. There's nothing wrong with you. Again, you can be on point with your healing and still have that wave that comes towards you. Why? Because you're human. And our awareness knows that you live this life as a human. And we want to be humans. We want to have emotions. We want to have feelings. And also, the illusion of separation is created for us to expand as an awareness and escalate, but also it means that it's a natural for human part of self, and it's natural for ego to crave companionship, right? We crave companionship. We want to build communities. We want to have our soul family close to us, and we want to have a partner to have a romantical relationship with, and it's completely natural. It's not weakness. It's not failing. There's nothing wrong with it. It's absolutely normal, as long as, again, you understand that having a partner is not having anyone, is not settling with a karmic who knows nothing of you and the true frequency of your soul, and it's not just randomly choosing it, but feeling that feeling, understanding that feeling, being in control of that feeling. It's absolutely natural because God creates in pairs. That's why we have soulmates or twin souls. That's why it all exists. It's a whole purpose. On our highest, most aligned timeline, every single person on their highest, most aligned timeline, I guarantee you there's a destined divine higher soulmate or for very few twin soul for you there. It's just that not many people get there because it requires that first word that I was mentioning, right? But it is doable. There are many walking examples at this point on earth that it is doable to reach that. And so when you find yourself in that situation that you have done the work, you've dealt with that loneliness, you're aligned, walking the path, but every now and then it's like, man, it would be nice, I dress myself for myself and I look nice for myself, but it would be nice to dress myself nice for my man and allow him to take me for dinner and wine and dine me and allow him to get me some ice cream and allow him to, show me some good time. It's a normal feeling. So how do we deal with that? We just understand that this too shall pass. We embrace it. And through that emotion, how you can use this emotion, because partially, obviously, this is something that can be fixed by proper relationships, not just romantical. You can have familyships, friendships that can fill that gap, and people, those companions, those life companions for you, for your life. But in the romantical sense, we simply understand that just it's normal, it's human, there's nothing wrong with me, and we start to approach it with it would be nice. And with that it would be nice, there are two things that you can do. One is to remind yourself that there is a divine plan in motion for you. As long as you surrender, as long as you trust, as long as you're aligned, as long as you listen to the highest guidance, there is a milestone on your timeline when you find that person and that person finds you. And depending on what journey you are, because I work with both soulmates and twin souls, so for that rare journey of twin souls, this is a moment when you just connect to your masculine or your feminine and you just remember, I know you're trying to find your way back to me and I know it's going to happen. And when you're on a soulmate path, which is similar, but it means that you just don't know this person, you don't know the address. I know that you are out there somewhere looking for me. And I am here getting ready for that because everything happens for a reason. There are no coincidences in the universe. We all have to submit to divine timing, right? And it's a complex chessboard. And we have to remind ourselves in those moments of loneliness that if it's not here now, I sit in the energy of readiness. And I trust that if it's not here now, it's already mine. It's just that linear time is confusing and it needs to find its way back to me. And another thing that you can do as you're faced with that emotion is to use it to connect to your divine counterpart. And again, for twin souls, for my beautiful divine feminists on a twin soul journey, twin flame journey, you know you're masculine. So not with lack, not with sadness, not with regret, but from a place of love, trust, fulfillment. I connect to you, my love. I connect to you, my love. I know that what I want to do with you one day we'll do together in divine timing. And if you are on a soulmate journey, you connect to your soulmates, because with our soulmates, even if they don't live with us in this lifetime, our soul family, our higher soulmates, which can be also friends and family members, if they're not here in this lifetime physically with you, we can always connect to them because we're of a very similar frequency. So if you are already on that level that you feel like your ancestors are guiding you, your spirit guides are guiding you, right? Your soulmates are guiding you as well. The higher selves of all your soulmates we're always connected, right? Linear time and timelines and lifetimes, it's all just one big illusion. We're always connected. So whoever that person is, that woman, that man, that is your highest destiny, your highest soulmate meant for you on that highest most aligned timeline, through them, connect to them and connect to that timeline, right? Because things that are put in us as dreams and desires, I wish I had someone to travel with, I wish I have someone to do fun things with, I wish I have someone to cook with, I wish all the things that you dream that you would do with romantical partner They're actually remembrance of something that already exists in the quantum field, because linear time is just an illusion. What have been and will be already exist. And you as a soul, from a level of consciousness, having access to a quantum field, you just are remembering. They're not dreams, they're not silly dreams, they're not silly desires, they're just remembrance of what you can achieve, to sort of guide you and invite you more to walk the path of alignment, because it ain't easy, it's challenging, the ego resists. But the more we walk that path of alignment, the more one day we will actually align with that timeline, and we will dematerialize all the other timelines, leaving only that aligned timeline that is our destined dharmic path. So yeah, that's all on summertime and kids. That's all on the loneliness. I hope you're feeling a little bit less lonely after watching this. If you made it up to here, I'm sending you love, and I'm sending you all my good energy, so we feel a little less lonely. A virtual hug, and remember that this loneliness is only an illusion. We're all one supreme consciousness. We all connected to source at all time, and through source we're connected to everything, everyone, and everything within the scale of existence. We are everythingness. We are wholeness with the universe. So we're never truly alone.